I'm Dr. Ryan DeBell from The Movement Fix. This is Movement Fix Monday, and we're going to look at a common movement impairment syndrome that we see in people during overhead lifting. And what that is shoulder flexion, which is arms going up overhead, with lumbar extension, which is leaning back too much. There's a lot of athletes who complain of, just some general achiness in their low back, and a lot of times it's after workouts that have overhead lifting. And one of the reasons that can happen is because they go up overhead in a push press, a push jerk, a press, whatever, and every rep, they kind of push their hips forward a little bit, which loads the facet joint of their lumbar spine. So if we look at the spine model, what this athlete does, who goes up overhead, leans back, is every time they lock out overhead, they do this little extension through their low back like this. And what that does is it puts more load through the facet joint, and that is a joint that has a lot of nerve endings, and so it can be sensitive. And so that is something that we need to train out of people. A lot of times we use the coaching cue of, just don't do that, but people still do it. So we need to look at another way to coach an athlete or train someone not to do that. A lot of times words do not help someone understand how to move. And what does help them is some sort of force that they have to counteract. So when we think about that athlete, what we can do, I'm lucky enough here to have crossover Symmetry bands hooked up to my rack. But what we want to do is hook these up high on a pull-up bar. If you don't have these, you can just get two straps or two bands that are similar in resistance. But what we're going to do is grab these. You're going to go down into a kneeling position like this. And you want your torso to be vertical in this setup. You don't want to be crunched forward like this. So you're going to be relatively vertical. And then what you're going to do is try to press straight up overhead and not let yourself lean backwards. So instead of coaching and using words, we're using the force of the bands to pull the athlete back, which cues them to stay kind of crunched forward and not lean backwards with this overhead lifting pattern. And so if you do 10 reps of that, it sort of gets the athlete cued on how to create tension on the anterior chain to prevent lumbar extension with the overhead lifting pattern. After we do that though, it's kind of a prime opportunity and prime time to actually do some pressing. So then you can grab a kettlebell, or you can do this with a barbell. We'll stay in this position, thinking about that little contraction of the abs, which the band will teach your athlete how to do. And then from here, we'll just press up overhead, come back down, do 5-10 reps each arm. And you can do a little circuit of that. So instead of telling your athlete, don't lean back, use this band. So what's happening, when I press up, it pulls me back like this, cues the athlete to crunch. So give that a try. Again, you can use these bands, which are fine, but they're not quite the same as having a handle here. And have your athletes do that. Now, sometimes this overhead pressing, leaning backwards thing isn't a control or technique problem. It's actually a mobility problem of the shoulder of the lats, because the lats actually attach from your arm and they go all the way down into your low back. So when you raise your arm up overhead, if your lats can't lengthen well, it will literally just pull you here, because you have to keep the weight balanced over your feet so you don't fall over. So give this a shot with this with the bands, and then do some pressing or push pressing right afterwards, so you lock in that new kind of cueing so that you actually have it stick. So that's this week's Movement Fix Monday. Hey, some of you guys are emailing me and telling me to paint my walls of my garage. I'm on it, okay? So hopefully this will be painted soon. Pre-orders for the shirt are going to end in 2 weeks because I have to put the order in. So make sure you pre-order the Movement Fix t-shirt if you haven't already at themovementfix.com/shop. And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram at The Movement Fix. See you guys next week.